Hey there everyone, User1Campbell here, and welcome to the 4th episode of the Rider of Chaos Q&A series. So, October happened. Nothing worth sharing this month, so time for the questions of this episode's Q&A. AdsSilverthehedgehogandlokifan asks, out of FNAF and Resident Evil, which do you prefer in terms of horror? Resident Evil, I'll be honest. Both franchises are pretty great ways on how they tell the stories, and how they both convey the horror-ness. I don't think that's a word, goddamn. But I prefer Resident Evil just because of personal preference. Who do you think is the darkest Sonic villain? Memphis, Tennessee the Dark. Mephiles is a cunning manipulator, able to try to sway people to his side or try to get them to do his dirty work for him. The way he moves is disturbing as well, and he was the only villain in the main series to actually kill the main character of the franchise. I'd say he's more disturbing than dark, but he fits both categories so well. Do you have a favorite Halloween song? No, I don't. Have you seen the Goosebumps movies with Jack Black? If so, what do you think of them? I have not seen them, the only media of Goosebumps I've consumed are the Goosebumps Horrorland books. Crazy Flame 7 asks, if you had to be stuck in a horror game for Halloween, which one would you choose? Oh boy, this is gonna be quite the most insane take. Silent Hill 2. But that's only if I could put up a fight and defend myself. Again, I absolutely know how nuts this choice is, considering how the town works in Silent Hill 2, where the town is basically a mirror and reflects your trauma and inner demons into a psychological reality that only you see and others see differently in their vision of the town. But I don't know, something about facing my demons and traumatic experiences head on would still be creepy as shit, and of course I'd be afraid, but in a way would kinda help me. That's my choice. My second is Resident Evil 4. Dogesman asks, what is your favorite spooky theme level in any game? If I had to say my favorite, I'd actually say Valanda Morpha from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I'm not gonna spoil it for those that don't know because the lore behind the place is pretty influential to the Xenoblade franchise as a whole, but for those that know, absolutely know. Who's the scariest boss you ever fought in a game? The Sorrow from Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Like, fuck bro, not only is his health bar already at 0% because he's a ghost, but the scenery makes it even creepier. A river down a foggy, dead and stormy forest with the spirits of everyone you, the player in the game, killed, including all the basic enemies, haunting you. The fact you also can't win this fight is creepy as well, so when Masara kills you, you have to take a revival pill and end the fight like that. A creepy ass fight with a cinematically eerie music track that also serves as a puzzle boss, which wasn't all too common at the time when Snake Eater was released. What is currently your most disturbing video game music track of all time? Omen from Persona 4. Just listen to it. I'll just quote a classic on this one. What's your favorite scary movie? None of them. I can handle scary games a lot of the time, but I cannot handle scary movies. As examples, I haven't seen It, I haven't seen Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, and I have not seen the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, all for the same reason. I also like to have drinks and food when I watch movies, so if I watch a horror movie, because I have unfortunately seen some, don't get me to bring food or drinks at all. My appetite would be fucking ruined and I might throw up from simply eating because of the constant intensity. Hardhead Guy 42 asks, which do you think are scarier? Dead Space Necromorphs or the Flood from Halo? The Necromorphs, to be honest. The Flood look like enemies that, while still abominations, I wouldn't necessarily be as scared of them. Necromorphs, on the other hand, have these long ass arm things that give me the heebie-jeebies a bit more. Have you heard of the World Ends With You franchise? If so, have you ever played the original OG version of Final Mix or Neo? I have heard of The World Ends With You. I have not played the first game in Neo, but I really want to. The only media of The World Ends With You I have consumed is the first episode of the anime adaptation. Which do you like more? Blocking/countering attacks or dodging? Depends on the type of genre and game. If it's a hack and slash and fighting game, I'd say dodging. If it's an action RPG, I'd say blocking and countering, if the game has blocking and countering. Have you ever seen DBZ Abridged, and if so, did you like it? I have not seen DBZ Abridged, I've only seen a couple clips and that's it. LFonTV asks, what is your favorite animatronic in FNAF? Maybe Foxy? I don't know. Sonic.exe or Jeff the Killer? Sonic.exe can handle him a lot better than Kev the Jiller. What is your favorite chocolate? A Moro chocolate bar. Dude, it fucking sucks. It's available in very few countries of the world because I love this shit. It's a chocolate with caramel inside it and it is so good. Mooniera asks, would you ever do like Halloween themed lore episodes? Probably not, I'll be honest. When I got fully started on making my channel lore at the very beginning of my Rider of Chaos rebranding, the chronological days of my lore's timelines was originally just whenever I released the episode where Bad Skid is in. But funnily enough, ever since after my Halloween special of 2023, the top 5 more disturbing music tracks from non-horror games list, I stopped doing that chronological day thing for the Rider of Chaos lore timeline, because back then, I was still figuring out all the kinks of where I want the channel lore to go. So, as an example of what I mean, the 2022 countdown. The very second episode of the Rider of Chaos rebranding took place in January 2023 in the lore, the same month release date as the countdown itself. The next video, the Sonic Frontiers review, came out in March, and hence that month would also be when it takes place in that video skip of the channel lore. But after the disturbing music tracks list in 2023, I decided to change when each skit takes place in the lore timeline from now on. As an example, ChaosCon 5 was released in late April of 2024. The next main video, my top 15 favorite Persona 3 Reload music tracks list, was released in late July of 2024. But in the lore, the skits from ChaosCon 5 chronologically are in November 2023, a week and a half after the events of top 5 more disturbing music tracks from non-horror games. And the skits from the Persona 3 Reload countdown would take place 2 days after the skits in ChaosCon 5. Putting it short, it's very unlikely I will be making Halloween-themed lore episodes. I used to back when I made the top 15 disturbing music tracks from non-horror games list from 2020, which still a decent video, just as a cringe intro skit looking back on it. Ricardo StormSurge Silva asks, how did you feel about the Bowser vs. Eggman death battle, and who would you say should be the actual winner? I love the fight so much. It's up there with Ruby vs. Maka, Sei-an vs. Kyle, Winter Soldier vs. Red Hood, and Weiss vs. Mitsuru in my favorite death battles. At least out of all the ones I've seen, because I've seen very few episodes of Death Battle. But in terms of who should be the actual winner, still Bowser, to be honest. I'm gonna be so for real, I have no idea why there's been a deal over who should have actually won and why, and quite frankly, it's just exhausting. Have you seen the hype and awe of Donkey Kong Bonanza? I have, yes. I even reacted to the Donkey Kong Bonanza Direct back when it released and was very hyped myself despite not being big into the Donkey Kong franchise. I even almost teared up from a Direct. It was a really good experience. Riley asks, when you heard Jason Griffith voice Sonic and Shadow for the first time, what were your thoughts? I didn't really think anything of it, to be honest. Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic Unleashed were my very first Sonic games that had Jason Griffith in them, with beforehand my first Sonic game and first ever video game I played, Sonic Generations, had Roger Craig Smith as Sonic and Kirk Thornton as Shadow. I was 8 and 9 years old at the time, so I didn't quite understood voice acting. Hell, I actually didn't know there was a difference in their voices as a kid. I didn't really care at the time. All I cared about at the time was playing as a blue speedy hedgehog and going fast through the levels, and asking my dad to fight the boss battles for me. Have you ever played the Mario and Sonic Olympic games? If yes, which one is your favorite? And what characters did you like using? I have played Mario and Sonic at the Sochi 2014 Olympic Winter Games and Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games. Unpopular opinion, but I think both games are the shit. I love the event lineup in both games, and I think the usage of motion controls, especially in Sochi 2014, was awesome. The sceneries are also very beautiful too, with Rio 2016 having a really nice free-roam beach in the city. God, I miss those days because those games were some of my biggest childhood memories on the Wii U. I did play the demo of Mario and Sonic at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games, and I did not enjoy the demo, I'll be honest. But as for my favorite characters, I'll pick characters from both sides. For the Mario side, I would have always picked Peach, Daisy, and Mario mainly. And as for the Sonic side, I'd have picked Sonic, Shadow, and Blaze mainly. I really want to play the other Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games series, especially London 2012 for the Wii. Still fucking pissed off the Mario and Sonic Olympic Games series ended up getting cancelled due to the International Olympic Committee wanting to invest on esports and NFTs instead. Esports I'm kind of okay with, but NFTs was where I got angry. Fuck, man. Growing up, what were your favorite Halloween sweets to get? Didn't really have a favorite, just whatever I could get I was happy either way, as long as the sweet didn't have nuts in them. I'm not allergic to nuts, I just fucking hate how they taste. What moments in a Sonic game will always stay with you? The final cutscene of Sonic Unleashed, that scene always gets me and is one of the saddest yet triumphant endings in the series. Completing Sonic Unleashed for the very first time on December 31st, 2016 will always be a great memory of mine. Yep, I'm not kidding. I beat Sonic Unleashed literally before midnight when 2017 would have started. TonySonic asks, what game/moments in a game that you played scared you the most? The third section of Doki Doki Literature Club, aka just Monica. Having Monica stare at you, the actual player, and speaking to you in a dark, empty classroom, and Monica saying very disturbing things, definitely isn't the most relaxing thing in the world, I'll say that, but as for the game itself, it scared me the most, Silent Hill 2. And finally, the last set of questions come from XenoJamie 2003, who asks, what is your favorite video game story? Sonic and the Black Knight, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Persona 3, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots. Which palaces in Persona 5 is your favorite? Sai's Casino, Madarami's Museum, the Depths of Mementos, and Futaba's Pyramid. And finally, do you think Sonic can control the Monado? Honestly, yes. A person's ability to control the Monado is dependent on the user's strength of will. Willpower is a key factor into controlling the blade, hence why those like Shulk are able to control it well, while Dumban had severe trouble with controlling it due to his injuries the sword inflicted upon him. One of Sonic's skills is Indomitable Will, which is an unyielding determination and resilience in the face of adversity, maintaining unwavering commitment to a person's goals, values, and principles, even when confronted with significant challenges or obstacles. So yeah, when you put two and two together, I personally believe that Sonic can control the Monado 100%. And that's all of the questions answered for today. Thank you all so much for participating in this episode of the Wire of Chaos Q&A. Feel free to leave your questions for the next episode in the comments down below or in the community post I'll be making after this video releases, which will be linked in the description. Until then, I'm User1Campbell, and see you all next time.